Test. Oh, my stupid mic is being stupid. My stupid wiener kids are being stupid wiener kids, I guess. Yeah, so I set something up. I believe it will work. I mean, I've just tested it. I don't really know. But I should be recording and streaming, and then the audio from the desktop will be dropped in the recording. I figured out how to do it with OBS. They actually make it very easy if you know where to look. This is the last thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh! Eh, mixed feelings. Oh my god, it's really bright. There we go. Much better. Screencast mode. What is Karnak? Jesus Christ, that was so loud. You have no idea. It might have even come through my mic. That's how loud it was. Why is Chocolati command C inst? No way. I didn't even think that would be a thing. Yes, I've gone and set up Streamlabs. I should be getting all the alerts and stuff. I've gone and I've made it pretty special. I think my wiener mic is being a wiener. Yeah, but I think there's a general theme that we've been slowly approaching. Twitch, clearly quite monkey oriented. That's my style of programming. Um, yo, dude, that's sick. In the system tray? That is awesome. There's no way this is it. What's up, man? I'm doing all right. How are you? This is sick. It's a programming game. I mean, I was really hoping that this would just be like, yeah, this is Visual Studio. Okay, there's Dev E and V. Hold on one second. I can focus on the chat in a moment. I want this to work so badly. There's SVCH host. That's probably a dead giveaway. Not really. There's got to be a good way of doing this. No, because it just accepts it no matter where it is. Only show processes matching this regular expression. See, you would think that that would filter things out, right? From everything that isn't Windows terminal. I don't know, I may end up severely regretting this. What's up, Pinky? Oh, great, it's broken right now. So I should get something from a little bit farther back, probably here. I really do want this to just take Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code's input. I don't really want it to be showing like I gotta log in somewhere. I'd be pretty annoyed if it just started showing my input like this. Not like I need to do much text input anyways. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna test it real quick and see if using um, Firefox's autofill will trigger it or not. It does not. Okay, that's good. That means I can probably get away with this. Mr. Incline, man, that's better than calling me Mr. Decline, so I'll take it. Okay, so I have taken all the suggestions into account. I'll try this as well. Eh. Hopefully that's somewhat visible. That's sick, dude. Honestly, that's amazing. Oh no, there's 2 instances running. Artichoke mutation.json. Neat. I don't like how massive it is, like when it's got the actual name of the shortcut there, but I guess it's okay. Well, cool, man. We're like absolutely cruising right now. The other thing that's going on is I have a recording being made as well, and it drops the music. So I think I'm just gonna put them up on YouTube because it should be pretty easy, and I won't have to worry about copyright issues. Right. So I slept very well, and I think where I left off last night, I did a little more. What I did last night was I wrote this script here, which sort of acts as a bootloader, and it's really dense. It's not meant to be readable because it's probably just going to get baked into the application. But what this will do is it'll look for file system components on a computer and look and see if it has an init.lua file. If it has an init.lua, then it loads the init.lua script in as a Lua chunk and then invokes it. And so it is acting as our bootloader. And so here is a very convoluted force loading in that init.lua script as or a forcefully loading in the init.lua script into the file system device, which is pretty neat, I guess. So real quick, I want to get rid of one of the problems that have been, or one of the things that have just been like annoying the hell out of me. Like the key input on the right. That's a little bit distracting, isn't it? Just a little. Yeah, see, it doesn't pick up all of the inputs. How fast that just flies up, though. Maybe I just need to type slower. Shut up, that's a lie, and you know it. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Don't even. Don't even with me right now. Yeah, I'm struggling with it still. Like it's a little bit excessive, and honestly, I just kind of blame it on me typing too fast. I'm just that good. I see it on my screen as well. I might get rid of that, maybe, but at the same time, I do like to be able to know what y'all are forced to witness. I also got Twitch alerts set up again, or Streamlabs Twitch alerts, whatever the fuck you call it, and pretty chill. You'll probably see how often I like spam Control S. It's a little bit excessive. Don't work. Basically, I'm going to take these and combine them. So this will just go. Instead, we'll have this, and then I want to just be able to say component system dot random and then tell it what type. I want to say create, and then I'll have it assume random address. and it'll return whatever that address it generated was. Right now I'm storing the types as strings. It's kind of just laziness, being honest. Okay, this is still like extremely intrusive. I think what's even wilder is I can actually do this. Let's make it a vector of component managers. This is why I have these inheriting from a base, literally just for the type erasure. And if it's not found, try really, really hard. Is there even an idea of a null address? Not really. I mean, an address of 0 should simply never occur, so why don't we just go ahead and say that's a null address. I've never seen it this unhappy with existence. It does need a function. I mean, I guess what we could say is any of these are the null terminator, then there's a problem. In which case we can just use contains. Okay, hold on, I can't read the chat. What am I cooking up today? I'm cooking up some beautiful code. I'm taking what was irritating to deal with previously, and I'm combining it up into a single deal, and just kind of expanding on things and cleaning up. What's up, near me? Yeah, Chocolati is fan freaking tastic ABF. Like, install Chocolati, and then grab G sudo, which allows you to use sudo on the command line, and it works like you'd expect it to on Linux. And with these two working together, like, that's like 99% of what I like about a Linux install on Windows. Hassle free. And then I don't know if you're already using something like CYG or whatever it's called, but if you set that up even just a little bit, that'll give you access to all the typical Linux command line utilities. And like it's to the point where I can pretty much just ask like how you would do something on Linux through the command line, and I can input it and it should just work. Just have to be careful because one of the problems I ran into was I leaned too into that and it became such a pain in the ass to set up a Windows install to do development or to build my projects that it was fucked. Like it took me almost an hour and a half to 2 hours to set this computer up to build one of my more recent projects, which is a lot better about all that. Project today, working on the same thing from earlier. Super descriptive and helpful, I know. Oh my god, what's going on? Yo, don't do that. This is so distracting. There's no way to do that, is there? Oh, that's so dumb. Okay. Just be able to say create. Use a random component address. And then just return that, and we're cool. That's neat. And we can probably move these into the source file and do a little bit of compiler walling. Just tuck this away, and then that means we have so many fewer things that have to be included. Which thing is this? Just moved up. So I have not heard of cmdir, and dude, you are more than welcome to ask me questions. I really don't mind. I mean, what's the point of streaming if you're not going to answer questions or interact with chat, right? Dude, you're totally fine. It'll be quite a while before my chat is even capable of being muddied up. Oh yeah, if you haven't checked out Windows Terminal, I highly recommend it. It is fan freaking tastic. It is awesome. All right, here's a question. Should I write a make unique real quick? I already know what the answer is, and it's 100% yes. Just because the Standard libraries one leads to issues. And then how about I actually do requires? Just because I find I make fewer errors like this. Now this isn't going to do a proper make unique. I guess what we could do is forward this into standard make unique. I don't know. That's maybe asking for trouble. Might be pushing it a little too far. Preventing it if it's an array might be a good idea as well, but I think we'll just leave it there. Yeah, y'all have to let me know if this thing on the right here is a little too intrusive or not. It's an experiment, right? We'll see what happens with it. Boom. Yay. Oh no, that's a problem. But I have a solution. We'll return a component handle. Yeah, the key bindings on the right are like maybe a bit much. Just maybe just tweak it down a little more. Do this. Oh, and then I guess this will have to be. And we could just have a bool. Explicit operator bool. Checks if it's null or not. The address must not be null. And what about the manager? Let's just have a rule. I guess we can say that if the manager is not set here, then that means the address must also not be set. That'll be the rule. Throw an assert in here. Should help protect me from some stupidity. Now there's totally going to be some lifetime shenanigans here because we're returning a borrowing reference to this component manager. And here we have it as a unique pointer, owned. But I think it'll be okay, to be honest. I'm not too concerned. Like, I know that whatever that is has to live, like, to the end of time, pretty much. And that'll be also really clean for adding, like, a load and save data. Alright, then this needs to be a little different. I'm gonna go ahead and just take that component handle thing and split it off. Right, so we need a handful of things. Address. And then I'll probably want like a manager forward header. And maybe CAssert. All right, and then things are going to get potentially circular here. Potentially. So let's get rid of this. Let's forward declare that guy. And that's how we'll avoid things getting too funky. Why is programming so boring? Man, I don't even know how to respond to that. Programming is slow and tedious and time consuming. A lot of work. But I don't know if I'd call it boring. Maybe I'm just boring, which is fine with me. Like, I really don't mind. All right, now this guy should be able to include handle. Oh, I'm thinking I'm in the wrong place. Whoops. Same words? I don't know about the same words. Maybe the same words, but what they mean when put together is so different. That would be passed by value. And if you're using a language like C++ or another one that's like humongous as Python, I'd say Python's even more of a chunky boy. Like you're never gonna run out of new facets to learn. So it's not even the same words. They'll end up being different. We'll probably do this. I don't feel like writing the docs for that just yet. And everything should be cool. Make sure this is explicit. Both of these should be explicit. Alright, that's pretty neat. There's some like really neat stuff that can be done here. Like we can probably avoid the need to reference the computer when we call .invoke by just taking this handle thing because it knows what its manager is. So it has basically all the info it needs. Yeah, literally this, and then it would just be whatever would normally happen here. What did I miss? I guess it just doesn't like it. I might have added a helper function. Yeah, there's one that takes an initializer list. And so you could probably just turn this into file component.invoke, which would be just extraordinarily clean, for being honest. But it's not of particular importance right now. It is a build. Close. This is so like this looks ridiculous. So we'll just turn these into make unique as. Oh, it just really doesn't like that. Holy shit. Seriously? It's because, okay, I know why. It's because initializer lists are always copy from, not move from. And so, of course, it can't build from an initializer list because it can't copy a unique pointer. Incredible. C++ sometimes. Initializer list is so strange. Does anyone know what the justification is for why it's like that? Like, why is it copy only? I can write one real quick that'll be move, but like, why? Why is it copy only? Because it's const t? Wait. Let's go build one real quick. This will take all of 2 seconds. Need just a few tools. I think one of these I put in like the C++ feature of the week or whatever. Move iterator. Yeah, such a nice thing to have found. Where's that guy located? Under iterator. There's a handful of ways of going about doing this. The first is with an allocation, and the second is without an allocation. If we feed this, let me actually think about how I want this to be used. I want here, I want to be able to give it something like, well, it's just not going to work because I'd have to give it a begin and an end. So we almost need like a range cast. It's pretty clean. think that'll work. And then what we do is make an array. No. And I'm going to want to move iterator. This needs some kind of iterator. Why don't we require that this be just one type, u? You just say same as. Which won't be too happy with that. That's okay. The toys are in there. Yes. Yes, I agree. I don't know what you said, but I'm sure it was great. So we know these are all going to be moved from. I'll be passed in as move here just because of how it is. But we can't initialize the vector with it proper. Dude, you're good. All right, weird idea. What if we had one of these? Right, so it's gonna hold a reference. Is it even gonna let me do that? It might hate me for it. It's like I need a fake iterator. Is this ill-formed? Oh god, we're brushing up on the parts of standard library lore that I don't really know for sure. It's not too pleased. Oh man. Okay, well here's what we can do without a shred of doubt. We can do this. Make an array and move all the stuff in there. And then we can make a move iterator from it. And return a vector constructed from that. Like that will work for sure. I think it's just kind of gross. Actually disgusting. Okay. So we should be able to just run this, and either it will crash and burn miserably, or it'll work like nothing changed. Okay, it did not work like nothing changed. So it says exists. Add API invocation. Make sure I didn't delete anything on accident that I needed. Hmm. Doesn't really look like it. Everything's the same for the most part. Clearly it isn't. These types aren't actually getting moved anywhere, so there shouldn't be any issues because of that. We do check this. Yeah, I think my Twitch alerts isn't actually working. I think I forgot to actually start it. Give me 1 second. I put a lot of effort into customizing it. It's very, very themed. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Test. I'm not able to hear it. That's probably okay. I didn't do merge shit. Okay, hopefully this works now. If someone wants to unfollow and then refollow, that'd be really nice. Then I can find out if this is actually running. Oh, my coffee's cold. This is gonna suck. Hold on. Oh, that sucked. Oh, actually no, the alerts might have been coming up, but I just didn't see them because I'm not able to hear them for some reason. Stupid wiener mic keeps breaking. Yeah, so this isn't this is just unhappy, I guess. Exists. We do this, we do this, we do this. And I think we just need more information. Yeah, we need more information. This isn't helpful. This bad invocation is kind of useless. Okay. Do this component invoke error. Do I already have jclib as a dependency? Oh my god, I don't. What even is this? What kind of project is this? There's no way to specify the branch. Oh, that's so irritating. Argc, which will be set to the number of arguments passed. Get clone get repository. Someone wanted me to show what key presses I'm doing, because I honestly don't even know what kind of, I have no idea how I use Visual Studio. I just assume that I do, and it works somehow. They were asking about, key binds and shortcuts and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really know. They were like, you should show the key input. Okay. We have to be so absurdly careful with how we do this. How are you doing, Yaniko? Just dash B, right? Yeah. I see boing. Boing. Just chilling? Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god, dude, cmake is so beautiful and elegant. Yeah, 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 yeah. Beautiful and elegant. No, it's Astrum, but I'm starting entirely from the server side and pretty much just worrying about that. So can I just give this argv? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Pretty sure there's a way you can force an invocation. Xmake? Bro, cmake to death, my friend. Cmake until the end of time. cmake language. Oh. hilarious. 3.18. That might be a little bit too new, man. I've been experimenting with a new attempt at the sort of dependency management that I like to do with cmake, where it'll clone the Git repo. Um, and so far, it's actually gone really, really well. Like this is far less code than I had previously, and the only reason it's even starting to get kind of long now is because I'm trying to add in some extra fun features. I'm pretty sure this is overkill. I think we can just do this and then argv. And what argc? Should have a command echo. It's like Screeps, but done by somebody who can program well. In other words, it's not using JavaScript and TypeScript and shit. Yeah, I've tried to work. I've done like attempts at it in the past, but it just hasn't gone anywhere I liked. Like, yeah, literally, I think we've started on this project like 2 or 3 times, but I just did not like where it was heading every time, and so just kept kind of going back on it. Not because I can't stick with the project, but more because I think my approach is a mixed bag. Sometimes it's not always the right way of doing things. Uh, it would be coping if I hadn't proven in the past that I can do big projects. I do them the rare occasion. See, I don't think this works because the way this gets expanded out just fucks it all up. I think I said that too soon. It looks like it's working. Yep, there it goes. Okay. So this actually will not be correct. Because here what we want to do is say the branch. I want develop. Sorry, dev. What? Excuse me? Dude, what the hell is going on right now? I feel like your project's going in the right direction. I think what's good about it though is that each time you start and make as much progress as absolutely possible, you learn a lot more about the problem. And this makes it so that when you do approach it again, you have a much better shot at doing a better implementation. Holy shit, 251 commits, man. It's been a while since I've done anything with it. Oh my god, when was main last branch to? Holy shit, almost a year. That's insane. I need to update it. I might just go ahead and do a merge right now. It should be fine. Are the tests passing? Yeah, they are. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's about time. That's insane, dude. JC Lib old as hell. 11,000 editions. No, it really should be. This is meant to be something I can just not think about it. Holy shit, look at all of that, dude. That is insane. That touched basically everything. Yeah, dude. I really like JC Lib. It is so useful sometimes. Genuinely one of the best, if not the best things I've ever written for my own use. And I guess just in general, when it comes to C++, I'm extremely happy with it. Yeah, look at all that. Crazy. So we should probably do a build with Clang as well as with Visual Studio just to make sure everything's cool. It should be perfectly fine, but there's always the chance there's weirdness. Like I have tests that run on GitHub, like GitHub Actions, right? That test Clang and GCC, debug and release, and run the tests, yada yada. C++ 14, 17, and 20, my friend. Which sucks as much balls as you think it does to try to count for. I almost don't even remember what we were doing. Here. So let's split this. What I wanted was jclib maybe. Probably just tuck those away. JC may be super fun. Right, so if we get no results, we're going to assume we just didn't have any return values. If we get one result value, then that's that. If we get a lot of them, I'm almost tempted to just make this take any kind of range or even a span. And the final one will be error. And this one will probably move. There's a few things that this will do, like right off the bat, that'll be extraordinarily convenient. Oh, we need one more overload. I know I was like dissing on initializer list, but it will make this quite nice. Hold up. Thought I saw something interesting. Okay, then what all breaks? Answers. The answer is going to be a lot of things. I guess we'll figure it out as we go. All right, so here's one. It's kind of lame that it won't let me do that. Hmm. That should work. Then give me one of these. You just use the abbreviated syntax for this. And then we'll just construct the VT values from it. Oh Oh no, this doesn't know what the type is, so we can't do the abbreviated. Ooh. Yes, that's so clean. And does this work? Oh, that's just amazing. Yes. What about this? No, good, good. It still is enforcing the rules. Make this a static cast. I already had one situation where having a static cast actually saved my butt not too long ago here. That is so clean. All right, what else is broken? Oh yeah, everything. Why wouldn't that work? Oh no, this error. No. This did make it in. I fixed this at one point. I remember this. I just gotta figure out what it was. I remember it being something silly. Like even just this could be it. Mm-mm. I want to say that when I removed this, it just worked, which is a little bit worrying, I think. But I mean, it could literally just be because T is something ridiculous. Or there's a completely different issue going on, and this is just a misnomer. God, what was the solution to this? I ran into it, seen it before. Really irritating the tests don't catch it. The test did not catch it, excuse me. Oh, there's something that'll tell you. Yes, I did fix it in this, and then I forgot to actually push it. Yeah, so this fixes it for whatever reason. Honestly, I don't fully understand why. Could just be because whatever T is just not happy about existing right now. Ooh, that means at least one bug made it in. Is that the only change? Yeah, that was it. Hold up. Oh, that's based on main, isn't it? Okay, here's what we'll do. This is kind of cheese. Rename the branch to develop. Oh, really? Butthole. Alright, well, I'm an absolute pro, so here's what we'll do. Go ahead and commit direct the main, which I hate doing. Truly. Okay, I close with unmerged commits. Good job, me. Do this properly. Let's not commit direct to main. That's fucked. Develop. There. Easy. Okay, everything should be fine now. No direct pushes to main. One commit ahead. Cool. Everything's fine. Life is good. Safely back out of there. Figure. Build. Okay, different errors. That's perfectly fine. Alright, so now this issue is... This doesn't need to be an optional. Number one. We got a bunch of replumbing to do. Invoke error. Just say generic error is 0. Actually, let's add a little using a numerator. And that'll make this feel a little bit more natural to use. Just a little, not much. Then we can have some additional stuff for extra context. Component. Maybe arg number. That's pretty nice, because then I can just say, boom, not found, and there's the component that wasn't found. -1 will mean not provided. Yeah, if this isn't, if that ever hits, that's really, 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 really bad news. Like, actually, that's basically the end of the world, and we might as well just go ahead and, I don't know, assume the victory position. Best not to hit. Hey, if this ever gets run, just go ahead and call a board. It'll be fine. It's probably better off that way anyways. Is it like that, or is it more of like a it would be too good for the computer and literally it would just explode? That'd be pretty cool with the second one. That's kind of neat. Method not found. We can add another little data point we can throw along with it. Address, argument number, maybe want the method name. Because we're using a maybe, we're not really having to pay much for this stuff. To be honest, we could probably just dynamically allocate it, which sounds insane. But because this should almost never happen, it should be fine. Method not found. We want to pass it the method name. Okay, we don't actually know what the component's address is right here, which is kind of fun. So we'll just return like this and pray that whatever it is that receives that understands what it's looking at, and we'll fix it up. You are screwed up. And this will go from an exception-based handling to something a little different. Sort of, kind of. Yeah, why don't we make that a little bit more obvious that you're calling something that might cause the universe to explode? And let's pass that by const only. Const value reference. And this is the alternate. How fun. I don't mind the idea of having this be a pointer access like that. Especially if it would make it a little more convenient. Returning null pointer there. It could get weird. Does work out a lot more clean though. Cleanly. Right, you're not happy. Why are you not happy? Oh yeah, fun. Actually, this will be really easy to swap out because we used a little bit of inheritance. For once, it really does pay off. You just go here. And I guess I already fixed it. Okay. Sure. Build all succeeded. Would you look at that? Isn't that just neat? Extremely. Method not found. If there was a method not found error. Actually, no, if there was an error. No, only if there was a method not found error, we can add the component address to it. It's disgusting. This all seems like we're just kind of walking around in circles and shit, but the better debug output will just be so worth it. Because right now I have absolutely no idea what's wrong with this. Why don't we just say, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it for all of them. It'll be fine. Kind of silly reconstructing it from scratch like that, but it'll be okay, I believe. Okay, and then what we do is we go into the Lua. Report bad result. And yeah, this is going to do pretty much what it looks like it will and be super inefficient. Just how I like it. So we can just put this here. This will be the default. Or for old code I've written more often? Maybe. For what purpose? Like because I had forgotten how to do something, or because I wanted to reuse something I wrote in the past? Test. Yeah, if you elaborate, I will gladly answer the question. I can just answer both of those possibilities. The main problem I find with reusing code is it tends to be, even when you write something quite general, it tends to still be fairly specific, if that makes any sense. Like, oh, you're totally good, man. It sucks Twitch just exploded on you. I think the problem for me with reusing code is even the most general of things still don't feel general enough. And when they are quite general or generic, there's this issue of, can I actually rely on this thing? If I write something for a single project, just as a little what's a good example? I don't know, like maybe a is hex digit function that takes a character and returns true if it's a hex digit. You know, it totally works for this specific project, but if I was going to use it elsewhere, I'd want to write like tests and all this other bullshit. And then there's the unfortunate reality that, you know, adding things will just add to compile time, which isn't a huge deal when it's something as simple as like an is hex digit. And then there's the other problem of dependency management is kind of a little bit of a pain in C++. It definitely disincentivizes having dependencies. Then I think, well, okay, what about JClib, right? Which is basically where I put the stuff that I use all the time, or at least often enough that I would need it. But the problem there is, like, what belongs in JClib? It's not exactly a kitchen sink completely. And anything I add in there, I'm going to have to support because my code in the past and currently relies on it. So it's a long way of saying it's much easier to just rewrite these simple things. I've thought about maybe trying to really focus on designing like little header source pairs that are just coupled with the standard library and just be able to copy paste those in places, and that would work great. That would work fantastic. The only problem is doing that in a way that makes sense and isn't super tedious. Otherwise, you end up having to redefine half the world every time you add another one of those files. Hell yeah, dude. I'm just sharing my perspective. What would your response be? You'd be dead. Nice. Are you a programmer? Are you already familiar with programming, or is like Python where you're beginning? Just curious. Oh, this is bad. It's actually not necessarily the end of the world. Maybe it is the end of the world. What the hell? I have a really funny feeling. It just doesn't like it. Method, error reading character of strings. Fascinating. I am utterly convinced that it's assigning to itself. Okay, everything makes sense so far. The name looks totally valid. About here. Okay, string is valid at that point. My guess is right here. And I'm almost wondering if we're just like overwriting the existing one somehow. And it's just shitting the bed completely. Yeah, because this is a string view. That'll do it. Okay, figured it out. Yeah, so that's borrowing into the source. And so when we assign string with this string view, it's basically viewing into the same thing and then absolutely dying whenever it reallocates. And this string view is no longer valid, no longer makes any sense. So we can do this. Should just fix it. No, did not. I was hoping that would be the easy way to do it. This should be correct. Holy shit, it's not. That's really bad. Dude, I'm like actually terrified. This stuff has tests. Like, it's tested. Something silly going on. The tests, like, really push and pull all over it. So it's totally the method name. Without a doubt, the method name is what's going wrong here. And let's modify this ever so slightly. Not a huge fan of that, but it would fix it by just preventing the problem in the first place. Should fail to compile. Wow. Okay, so we are able to hit it multiple times. Okay, so those are different. Just that second call. Something's happening on the second call. Once, twice. Here. You don't like my pro technique? Yeah, you're right. I need some risk, dude. I mean, this is all like raw C++ types with unions, which starts to get really challenging. It's a little bit difficult, honest, because you have to manually clean these things up. Because C doesn't understand what the doesn't understand what a destructor is. So I'm watching this component data equals size blah blah blah. So it's right there. I've been there almost a year, my friend. I'm totally convinced that these are the same. I still work there, doing good. Boss likes what I'm doing, and nothing crazy. Same old, same old. Yeah, look, they're the same. Wait, are they the same? No, they're not the same. So then how the fuck is this a problem? Excuse me. Like, what? How could this be a problem? It's okay, it's at least we know it's a pass by move. Doesn't tell us a lot, but it means we might be able to suppress it just by preventing the move. But this is designed to be moved. One more time. If it is the vector that is causing the problems, then that actually would be interesting and tell us something. It is the vector. No, it's the string. Standard string. I'm not gonna lie, man. This might be. It's uninitialized. It's uninitialized. It's uninitialized. I figured it out. So then how would we determine if it's initialized and not or not already? There's a few ways. This is kind of tucked away, which is nice. Is there a reference to the Illuminati in here somewhere? Okay, it's an emote, my bad. Felt so stupid. Yeah, so what we need to do, what would be the best way of doing this? There is stuff we can use. Construct at, I believe. And this is the same thing, but we just check the reverse condition. And we can have little optimization things in here where it's just like, yeah, we'll just totally not even bother with this if the type is trivial. Okay, well, I really am crossing my fingers that this really does the trick. I'm assuming I wrote this decently well, and it all boils down eventually to no destroy set blank, which it looks like it does for the construction. My god, so many overloads. Yeah, that was something. Yep, and now it just works. Well, there goes another patch. Hot fix for JClib. God damn it. I need to go heat my coffee back up. It's cold. I think if I sip another bit of it, I'm gonna die. Wonder how long that's just been sitting there. Just don't die. Oh damn it! That was my plan, dude. Ruining my fun. Spooky action is the vast majority of the time on my side. Where it starts to go against my side and just kill me is when I start doing things that, you know, are dangerous, like messing around with unions like that. And there's a reason why that code has tests. It has all this extra stuff, but it didn't catch that case. I'm amazed I haven't run into that previously. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And that's why it's all tucked away behind a nice interface as well, so that when I go and use all that stuff, I don't have to worry about it. Assuming it's all done correctly. Yes, you're correct, Unico, but JClib has to work with C++14. And the reason I wrote the maybe type is because I wanted a type that was A or B that worked on C++14. Because then I wrote optional. I did an optional implementation that just builds on that. And it works really well. I don't think you can make a variant without compiler magic or a penchant for pain. Like, you either have to be an extreme masochist or have a compiler ready to go. Exists was not found. Fascinating. In C sharp, I have absolutely no idea, my friend. I have a feeling you meant C++. It accesses a scope, a namespace. So if I have a struct foo and it's got an int I, foo I would access that value. Although this doesn't make a lot of sense, not without getting really, really technical. But yeah, it just accesses the names in that scope. Very nice. Best feature in C++ is like namespaces and scoping rules. So you mean to tell me this right here exists, does not actually exist? No, still namespace scope. But I don't want to talk about member variable pointers because that's, like I said, very technical and not something that needs to be even thought of. So this is seriously trying to tell me that this doesn't exist. Exists. It's just saying, yeah, that doesn't exist. Yeah, you got to be so careful. I imagine teaching C++ must be kind of difficult. Exists. Exists. My favorite project, work or personal. And you saying outside of JClib makes me really sad because JClib has some of the stuff I am the most proud of. Ooh, 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 error reading characters of string. Somebody's not doing what they're supposed to. Well, that might just mean that it's at the end. Never mind. That's not a huge deal. I'm gonna have to think about that ABF. That's not an easy question. Holy shit, method functions is empty. Dude, I have so many, man. I love Lua. I fucking love Lua so much. You have no idea. I love Lua. GPU, what the hell? Oh, it's because the component.list isn't actually doing what it's supposed to. I love Lua. There's a project called Bear Lib Terminal that I meant to actually work on. Like, that was kind of what I was planning on doing for the stream. I was going to get the GPU component and the screen component hooked up so we could read and write to this terminal library here. But we've gone so far off the beaten path, it feels. I mean, we're doing important stuff, but still. Bear Lib Terminal is probably one of my other favorite things, just because it was my intro to. It was really where I started with C++, because it's an easy way to get output, and I still use it from time to time just because it's so convenient. Yes, there's the problem. Component.list. So it's not actually filtering types. Yeah, dude. Anytime. Actually, we don't even need to pull it out of memory or off the Lua stack. We can just push it on the top and then shove it into the table. Pretty easy. Raw git. So this is what gets returned when we call this function here, component.list. This like closure gets returned, and it's just iterating through the components that this machine is able to look at. And because I'm basing like the Lua API off of this one Minecraft mod, and I'm not even joking, it's pretty well done the way they present it. I wrote it like it was the mod, where you can just give it a type here and it'll filter anything that has any components that have this type or match it. It's like a soft regex. Will be filtered. So if you give it nothing, it'll iterate over all the components. But if I give it, say, file system, it should just iterate over the actual file system components themselves. Filter out the rest. So right now we're having to add the filter in. So that would be that guy. Let's check that first. Right here. See, I do this. The type name starts with, we'll say filter. And we'll have a filter.empty. Where it matches like that. Then we'll break. Otherwise, increment index and look at the next one. So this should now work. It should skip over things that don't match the filter, unless no filter was provided, in which case it'll always enter that it'll hit break. And once it gets to the end index increments, and we should be good to go. That should now work. Find out. Ah, init.lua 36. Oh, that's different. That is something new. Yeah, okay. So it's having issues if no filter was provided? My guess is right here. I think adding that should just fix it. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Fucking go. I don't like that song. I've heard it so many times, dude. I've heard all of these like things so many freaking times. That song in particular just gets on my nerves because he's like, "We got it." And it's like, "Yeah, we got it. I get it. I get it. We got it. That's fine. I'm glad you got it, man. Good on you." I'll be right back. Hey, how about we do that terminal thing that I originally intended to do? What was what? I moved a bottle. Did it crinkle? Like a plastic one? Might have been my door closing. The sound might be kind of weird. I'm not where I'm usually at when I'm filming, streaming. Yeah, I'm just writing a little helper function just so I can type a little bit less. Please, dear God, let me type a little less. Start with get screen, and then it'll be bind as well. And honestly, we can start having a little and write a little bit of template code to make it nicer to work with. Yeah, my mic is being a little wiener. I just tried unplugging and replugging it back in. Hopefully that helps. Again, test. Okay. Hopefully this helps. Shit, I don't like how that's gonna go. That's gonna be overhead city. I think JClib may have something to help with this. Maybe. I was hoping I had a function pointer template alias thing. I guess not. And to be honest, we could do this a little bit cleaner. And I'm not even gonna lie. Whenever I start getting like, I get really into dealing with functions and templates. I don't know why. There is something interesting about the way they end up actually behaving and all the different little edge cases, and I can't help but feel that there is some sort of unified way of viewing it. Maybe it's also because the first real piece of template code I wrote was jclibs functor type. So what I just did here was define something that will let us give it a function signature, and it'll return a function pointer matching that type. We'll spit out a type that matches the signature. That's a free function pointer. So this is going to be basically just this. And this would be not really what I was expecting to see here on the helping stuff, but if we had a one of these, if we instantiate it, we could then invoke it like a regular function. And it's a free function pointer, but the signature is like what you'd see with standard function. Incredible. Yep, that's where we're headed. This is one of my favorite techniques, man. Especially when it comes to integrating like C libraries into C++ and providing a nice way to work with them. Except this is a C++ library that I wrote now, or C++ library-ish code. I mean, it keeps up with me pretty well. It should just be able to invoke a fin like this. We're just getting started. I got a few more ideas here, and they're fucking awesome. This is fairly component. This has a definite ECS quality to it, like without a doubt. But that's how a lot of my code is, so I don't know if it really means much. All right, and so what this will do, take this get screen function, shove it through there, and then when it gets invoked, that pointer will get auto casted. But wait, there's more. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool. So what we can do, I've done this with Lua. It's not the easiest thing in the world, to be honest. We can do something here. So we're gonna have to it always return this, which is lame, but it's okay. And if I remember right, what makes this so difficult is here because what I want it to do basically is it'll take a function or something that's callable, honestly, would be better. No, it has to be a function pointer. We need to know the types. It'll take a function pointer and then a bunch of types for the arguments, right? And if those types can be converted, when I do it with Lua, it's can these types be pulled from the Lua stack? Then it will create like a closure that will pull those types, those values off the stack, and then invoke this function with them. This is kind of a similar thing. What makes it difficult is we can't just come in here and be like, type name arg t's. Because otherwise we have to go and specify the argument types if we want to actually use this function. It becomes useless. So what we do instead, little indirection. See, now we should be able to do this. And actually, we're probably just going to go ahead and have that be a regular argument. The actual utility of this is debatable. Like, this is probably just wasting time for the sake of it. But I always find this kind of thing interesting. And I'll probably just skip, oh, excuse me, I'll just skip this extra step here and wrap it all up into one. So I think we need more direction. This should be next arg. And an increment. This can maybe just become a fold expression. We'll just give this a bullshit template type. Well, this is about as ghetto as it normally is, to be honest. Questionably useful. And then wrapping it all up, this just becomes auto. And that'll know exactly what it needs. Preliminary build. Okay, now let's actually try using it. And then we'll change this to be everything the same, but no arguments. This becomes wrap method, and we just give it the function, and look at that. Look at that. Does it compile? That's the question. Damn it, no. Oh, because I was calling the wrong thing. No, I wasn't. API, add method. Oh, it's still so unhappy about it. Okay, that's fine. It's probably because this needs to be a pointer. No, it's still not happy. Why are you unhappy? Don't ruin my vibe. Could it just be because it has no arguments? And it's like, yeah, I don't really know what you're giving me here. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Could not deduce template argument for T. Try simplifying. Oh, it likes that. Wild. So that means our guy above up here probably works. Just having a hard time seeing through whatever's going on. That's true. We could probably just get rid of this. I doesn't like it. All right. Well, that works. It's a little funky, but it does make this a lot nicer or easier to work with. It makes more sense. Not really, but it's cool. And then I'm literally just gonna throw. Oh no, we can return a regular error. I don't really know what the component's address is or anything besides that there's just too many arguments. And so I guess we'll rely on the stuff higher up to fix it. Oh, I love this. We can do type checking. It'd be pretty cool if we were tracking what position the argument is. Key output, I think. Bro, I am somewhat accurate. How long did that take you, my friend? Oh, yeah. I was programming. Say bad argument. How about bad argument type? This is Windows 11, excuse me. What have you done with the real essay? I ate them. I got hungry. There wasn't much there, but it was still fun. Okay, you can program Rust in peace now. Should probably have it say what type it expected. But I think this is funnier. Alright, and then we do one of these. If check type, and then we just do a good old fashioned fold expression. Oh, not here, not there. Shut up, stupid. Basically the format. What am I making? I'm trying to lower the amount of effort it requires to add functions to a component's API. There is a runtime polymorphism component. So basically, the user is able to upload code that runs on these machines. And one of the things I want is to be able to have different architectures that can be chosen from, like a Lua machine or a I have an X69 emulator that's on its way towards working. You know, I want that option to be there. And so what I'm doing, or what I've done, is sort of create this abstraction where it doesn't really matter what the it doesn't really matter what the underlying machine's architecture is, because I have this sort of intermediate format for passing parameters and getting the results from API functions. Not really a COM clone, because COM might actually be useful for something. This is just for a game. And honestly, I don't know enough about COM to say if this is a clone or not. Vader, I'm so sorry, dude. Evaluation order is gonna get me here so freaking painfully. So we'll hack the system. That's not right. This isn't helping with the syntax highlighting or anything, of course. Yeah, it's sort of like that, but sort of. This is the bootloader, by the way. Why do I do that? Because I'm very special. I'm mentally challenged. Truthfully, I am, actually. Um, and to be honest, I don't know for a fact when they're required and when they're not. And I never really cared to learn. And I still don't really care to learn. So I just put them everywhere and it works. Isn't that neat? Alright, now let's see what Clang thinks of this abomination we've built up. I'm amazed. It was cool with it. Keep on trying to start Screepfish like the chessbot. Okay. Just get screen. Yeah, but I like writing like hundreds of lines of super challenging, in-depth code and then just compiling it first try. There's something so satisfying about that. All right, so how about we give this a function that actually takes arguments, and then we'll test it. GPU add, and it'll take two integers, return a plus b. See, this stuff gets really, really powerful when it when it's super easy to add things to the API like this, where that's just automatically handled and it should be type checked. It's ridiculously powerful. Oh, it doesn't like it. Oh no. Wait, what does it not like about this? If you're using like C or something where compiling is just like almost instant, I could totally see that. Oh, this doesn't work because of course it doesn't work. I tried to do something kind of silly, didn't I? All right, pro strats time. You ready for this? Oh, you know what? I bet we probably could have just given it to it like that and it would have been fine with it. Yeah, I think I just overthought it. I goofed. Wait, why not? Dude, I'm like an absolute maniac when it comes to pressing the save button. I do not want to get caught out in the rain. Man, what the hell? This should be able to Oh, no, I know why. Okay. This needs to be slightly different. Wait, illegal else without matching if. Excuse me. That's rude. Oh yeah, because this returns nothing. It's not like a value. It's done shitty. I don't know. I probably had like most of my weird habits are probably because something bit me once in the past and it scarred me for life, and I will never make that mistake again. Ooh, build all succeeded. We do love to see it. Clang happy with it? Surprisingly, it is. This is unnecessary. Just give it empty. Okay. Now let's try invoking that GPU add method. Okay, and we'll invoke it with the correct arguments first. We should get 4 because 2 plus 2. Oh no, too many args. Rest in peace. Should be greater than, not greater than or equal to. Four. Okay, then we'll give it too many arguments. Too many arguments, although I wish this was the correct arg number. That's okay. Right. And then let's try giving it something with a different type. At argument 1, yes! Let's fucking go! Well, that's exactly what I wanted. It should say what it expected and what it got and all that, but I can live with this for the time being. And that is why template magic is actually useful sometimes. Valor, my goal with this is to take Screep OS and just copy paste it and it just runs. That's literally the goal. It's not an easy goal to achieve, but it should be possible. Like, so far, you can pretty much run Open Computers code line for line and it just works. With exceptions. Pretty much everything involving components is the exception, but still. This is sweet. I think the best part is it's still language agnostic. So this could be an error returned from a peripheral address that you would, I don't know, you'd set up some arguments to, and then you'd push a certain bit into a peripheral address in the x69 emulator. And then it would be like, hey, you fucked this up, buddy. And then maybe jump to an error IRQ with what went wrong. And we got so far off the beaten path once again. I'm really good at this. But you know that stuff we were writing for the Minecraft computer, Screep OS, and we had like the WinSock server I was running where I could connect to it in game from my machine. All that code, that whole Lua, the whole Lua code that goes into that OS should be able to pretty much copy paste in here eventually. Should not be letting me do this. It should be screaming at me right now. Because component address is not one of those VT value things. Yeah, but honestly, I don't think I care. Just let it yell when it finds something stupid. Uh-oh. I sense a problem that's occurring, like, right now. This is an address of some kind. It should be a screen component's address. I have no way of checking that. I need access to the actual computer that this component belongs to. So we got a handful of options. I have a funny feeling that the wrong move would be to just like stick a pointer in here to the computer. And we can't like just bust into Lua or something and have it invoke a Lua function because that breaks the separation between the machine's architecture and the component APIs, which means we pretty much have no choice. We have to somehow get this computer data thing where it needs to go. Well, that definitely puts a wrinkle in everything. So what my thought process here is, what we could do is kind of do like what we did with the invoke result, where we originally it was like a vector of these VT value types, which are just tagged unions, and then we turned it into this, which is able to fake the vector interface almost well enough, right? So what if we did the same with this? So this from the outside will behave like a span with a slightly different constructor. And then it'll almost be like a span with this extra value tacked on. Like if I try to compile right now, everything's gonna just lose its mind. Start with this case because it's the simplest. Build off of it for everything else. Feels weird that that's out of order. There we go. We should allow it to be invoked with no additional arguments. Then we'll have to do more, of course. Kind of weird that span doesn't have the .at member function. I'm just going through and implementing everything I know I end up using. Okay, so things should be still quite broken, but a little bit less. Yeah, this one's kind of a go figure. Honestly, allowing it to take an initializer list is maybe a little silly. I know why I did it, just to make it like super easy to use, but yeah, I've had better ideas. I guess you're able to construct a span out of that. Holy shit, oh my god, okay, everything's almost compiling again. That's insane. I didn't realize how much of the sort of call stack for invoking a method on the components API just boils down to this computer.invoke function. Like this is fairly high up the chain, so to speak. That's wild. Okay. That's kind of cool. Good job, me. You did something right. So that does have implications for this wrap method thing. I think the easiest way to deal with it is probably to just go ahead and have it always pass in the computer data reference. Let's actually have it return a pointer. What I'll do, and then I'll pass that in, dereference. That means this needs to dereference. And it should be mad that these don't match. And then good. Yes, just needs to return a value. Awesome. I don't think I notified the Discord, but I'm online and it should show me as purple. It's called Karnak, and it is going to be the death of me. I'm also doing something really cool. I'm recording this, and it cuts out the YouTube's audio, so no copyright issues. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I don't know what the point of that is, but it'd be cool. More accounts to lose. Nah, I got everything set up nice and safe now. It should be fine. This should be component not found. Maybe that'll be bad argument type. This can be. This should probably both be component not found, or this should be component type invalid something. Yeah, I'm like basically the fastest typer to have ever lived. Now, like I've put the size of the text down to almost the minimum, and it's still the boxes are too big. Doesn't work. I see it as well. Neat. Why does VS Code suck so badly? Like, is that really all I have in terms of options? That's actually ridiculous if that's the case. This isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's just kind of cursed. As God intended. 16-bit color graphics. You know what's better than an elephant? An elephant with blue eyes. It's better than realism. Ew, why would I use Vim? What do you think's who do you think I am? What do you think this is? Some kind of joke, son? I don't think you understand who you're scraping with. Component not found, argument 1. Cool. And then let's try giving it the GPU component's address, and so make sure it does check the type. Component not found once again, could use a better error message, that's alright. Now give it the screen component. And it works. So basically, I'm the greatest programmer, like, ever. Except for that one dude who's at the library, you know who I'm talking about. What, you think I'm gonna like upload C? You think I'm gonna let people upload C++ to a server to run for their game, for their player, like for their side of the game? I think this is, my friend. That's insane. This is like open computers. No, no, I'm focusing entirely on the server side for like a while. Is it using GPUs then? Because I'm going to have an instance of this running on the client side, and that's how the user is going to be able to actually interact with things and have like a terminal. It's going to be neat. That was my solution to the, oh yeah, how the hell do I actually display stuff for the user and leave it malleable? Like, oh, I'll have an instance of these running on the clients, and then it'll come with a program built in by default that will forward messages from the server and display them for the user. That'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah, let them upload Rust. Good idea. The tutorial, you have to write your fucking render engine just to even play. Step 1, write a text editor. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Step 2, write your operating system. Yeah, that's why it'll come with something by default that implements a text editor and stuff. And so the user doesn't have to worry about that unless they want to go write something custom. And of course, I'll leave the default implementations with lots of room to improve. That way there's incentive to. Kind of like how Open Computers gives you Open OS, which is like absolutely dog shit. And if I knew that it was programmed with the intent to be a good piece of software, I would lose all respect for the developers. But I know that they leave it purposefully kind of bad to incentivize actually, you know, improving. Well, they leave it bad on purpose. There's no way they don't leave it bad on purpose, because otherwise, if they call that trying, that's really, really sad. Um, there's so much room to improve. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I will write something intentionally kind of wasteful for the default stuff. And I will not, I don't think I'll write any assembly machine by default. I think that'll make it a little interesting as well. Rust is just a meme. There's no way they would do it seriously. All right, I'm done. I'm happy with this so far. We totally did not get to what I wanted to do. We're kind of getting there, kind of not really at all. All right, that should be the get screen function working. True, and then it returned nil. That's not good. I did that backwards, dumbass. Cool. There's our screen component. There's the screen component up there as well. With no API functions defined. Isn't that just a grand time? Grand spanking time. All right. Well, cool. Nice detailed commit message. And I do have the computer.pull signal stuff, and it just works. It just works. I even have a Lua yield K in there. I don't think I've ever actually used the Lua yield K correctly or successfully in the past. And I was like, oh, I think that's the right move. So this timed out should not be hit, like ever. It'd be kind of weird if it was here. But who actually cares? You should recognize this code. I'm gonna build just in case I missed any changes. I think I have the main thread set up to push a signal after 5 seconds. Yeah, I do. Okay. And so give this a timeout. Should loop a handful of times. Beautiful. And I have resource limits on the scripts already done. So if they use too much memory, they'll get booted. Or if they take too long to finish, they will get booted. I know that feeling very well. We'll just say waste time. I like fuck around. That was a good function name. No, Lua does not have templates. I am genuinely considering doing some fucking around with Lua and having a bit of a customized Lua implementation. Mostly the same as the built-in or basic standard Lua, but it'd be kind of fun. JC Lua. I've messed around with adding like a global keyword and making things local by default, but that's surprisingly difficult. The global keyword was super freaking easy. The local by default, not at all. That sucked. Oh, it's not going to tell me if it halted. Because I removed those messages because they're irritating. The basic pitch for Lua is extremely lightweight, extremely simple, extremely easy to embed, and it's very easy to sandbox. When I say extremely lightweight, I mean extremely lightweight. With without a doubt, it is probably as good as it gets in terms of scripting languages that are like even reasonably known. Like literally the resource limits I have on this script here that I'm running up, and that includes this EEPROM script. It includes any libraries I've exposed. And you have to remember there's debug information that gets loaded in with these scripts as well. And I think our memory limit's at 32 kilobytes, and we're probably not even brushing up on it. Maybe halfway at the most. And that's for the entire Lua state. But it has some quirks. It's not your typical language, but the quirks are very much so worth getting over, and you will get over them pretty quickly because they turn out not to be a big deal. Yes, indexing starts at 1. Things are global by default. And actually, I think that's about it in terms of shit that's really off-putting. I promise it's worth it. I wouldn't be telling you that if it wasn't. So this is the free memory. Each time this is looping. Means we are starting to run up on some limits here. But I've also done no optimization. So this should print out the amount of memory that's been used. "26 kilobytes is not a joke, certainly. How much of this is just these little random functions we're not even using?" About 6 kilobytes worth. So a lot of it's going to be debug info. I mean, I think I can just have it strip debug symbols, or at least lessen the amount of debug info that it carries. And of course, you can always do Lua dump and set strip to true, and so you get binary representation. And not only does it load way faster, but if you strip the debug info, it becomes really painful to deal with, but it also becomes ridiculously fast to load. Like, I think I did an experiment one time, and it was something like 100 times faster to load from bytecode. Just insane. There's probably a way to have Lua specify, or to tell Lua to reduce the amount of debug info. I guess let's do this. One function. And we need a pulse signal. That's how we're collecting garbage. It'll wake it after 5 seconds. About the same. Where is that coming from? Is it from the EEPROM script? You kidding me? Be kind of hilarious. Yeah, it looks like it is. This is gonna like brick the system. $14,712. A few things that can be done. Number one, for the sort of bootloader here itself, we can just straight up have that be binary or Lua byte code. That'll help a little. Why should I? You must provide me incentive, my fellow ape. Got flashbanged, sucker. Bro, are you back here again? I really hope you haven't just been like chilling the whole time thinking, man, this sucks. Oh, that'd be kind of funny. Sitting there like, man, this sucks. I hate it. Let me just look at it again. Nah. This sucks. This sucks. I'm not watching this. Maybe just one more moment. Man, I'm about done. I've been about done for a little bit here, which is why not much is happening. Mostly looking around to see if anything sticks out as a way to reduce some of the overhead we're using here, which is hilarious because we have a perfectly sandboxed, like clean encapsulated script environment here. Can't run too long, can't use too much memory, can't escape. And I'm over here complaining that it's like 16 kilobytes. Oh no. End of the world. Ugh. And I've never used a weak table in Lua. It's on my to-do list. Whenever I go and write the package manager or the package library for the built-in OS, I think I'm gonna try using the weak tables for the actual loaded table. I'm gonna try to be an ASM though. What do you mean? Like the compiled Lua bytecode? I mean, Lua bytecode is pretty solid. It's gonna run. It's gonna run the same speed, except for the loading, obviously, because the script text gets turned into the bytecode. But you probably know this. So. Lua to Clang IMO. There is Lua Jit, but I've not messed with that, and I'm worried a little bit about sandboxing. Oh, to keep it in RAM. I mean, I have an assembly emulator deal that runs like a sort of x69 type architecture that provides an x69 style architecture. But it's a little bit different. Nah, Rambo. Twitch is absolutely useless. Alright, we're gonna call it here, y'all. I hope y'all had a good one. Or I hope y'all have a good one, I should say. That bootloader. It really do be booting. It's booting time. It just goes through the file system components and looks for an init.lua. Honey. Honey. See ya, Faye. See ya, Rambo. See ya, who actually cares. The move to this channel has been really, honestly, positive. Like, I'm surprised by how well things are moving. To be honest, I thought that would be the end of my time streaming on Twitch. So, see ya, ABF. See ya, Mighty Loopy. Hope y'all have a good one. I'll be back again. Maybe not tomorrow, but sometime soon. New channel every month, dude. If Twitch ever does this to me again, I'm just done. I'm done streaming. All right, I'll catch y'all around.